Joining us tonight is Glenn Trolls. He's a photojournalist, and he just recently joined us here at InfoWars, fellow Info Warrior, and he was telling us about some of his health challenges that he'd been through. And when we heard the story, we said, you've got to go on the air and tell other people about this, because a lot of other people are facing similar things and they need to know what's worked for you. So Glenn, tell us a little bit about what happened with you. What was your condition? And you went to regular doctors for a while, and tell us what happened.
Yes, David, I was diagnosed at the University of Michigan with ankylosing spondylitis, which is a pretty severe condition. I mean, my prognosis was quite bleak, as the doctor said. He told me that I could expect that at best I would have at least several of my vertebrae fused permanently in my back. And I remember when he did give me that diagnosis, I wasn't at all surprised, because I can remember quite clearly it felt like someone had been injecting acid right into my spinal column. It was very, very
So what did he do for you? What did he prescribe?
Well, I mean, he had told me that, you know, the only way I could go were these medications, which were like Indocin, and I think some of the side effects of Indocin immediately were stomach upset, ulcers. I got these right away. It didn't take long. And I had him switch me to methotrexate, which is a cancer drug. And that drug was so strong that they had to reduce the dose and raise the dose. I was on all kinds of kidney and liver function tests, but I know some of these were really harsh drugs, and I was getting a lot of problems from them.
And they weren't really helping you with the underlying causes, right? It's just essentially masking the
No, they were
symptoms.
They were definitely masking the symptoms, but at the meantime, they were causing other things to occur.
Exactly,
for instance.
and that's what we see happen all the time. Well, what happened to get you off of that, and what did you do to get off of that?
Well, after taking those things, injections for about 10 years, you know, I decided that I was going to fire my MD, because, you know, I have to credit that phrase and that movement towards the show, because I learned from the guests on this show that that's what you need to do, is you get rid of the allopathic doctors and replace them with naturopathic doctors and whole foods and different things like that. So I really wanted to credit the show for that awakening in me.
Because they're trying to get to the root cause. They're not just trying to mask the symptoms again, as we're talking
Absolutely,
about before,
because the masking of the symptoms, all the while, you're getting sicker and sicker. Your liver is getting more damaged. These are cytotoxic chemicals going into your body constantly. And I did that, and I was getting sicker and sicker, heavier and heavier. And it was just, when I did quit, I went cold turkey off all drugs, all docs, all MDs, and my family thought I was crazy. They're, well, what are you doing? You know, you're getting sicker. You know, they saw my decline, and I was declining at first.
So you've been under standard medical care. They've given you some meds that are going to mask the symptoms, but then they create all these other new health problems. Weight gain being just one of many more serious health problems. What did you do to change this and turn it around? What was it?
Well, I replaced my allopathic physician with a naturopath. I asked them what these medicines are going to do. What are the side effects they're not telling me? They said the side effects of these medicines are death. And I took that pretty much to heart right away. And I got on a modified Max Gerson diet plan, which is elimination of meats and carbs and sugars and pretty much all manner of things that are unhealthy and unnatural and processed. And spent a lot of time at the farmers markets getting organic vegetables and juicing and making soups. And as I told you, that's where I had my big weight loss. But after that, I was still sick and still tired in a way that I wasn't prepared to feel, and I wasn't happy with that.
So then what did you do after that? You're still feeling tired?
Well, after that, I did some more blood work, and it told me that I was B12 deficient. I was anemic from trying to be a vegetarian, which I knew wasn't going to work with my body. So I went back to meats and some carbs like sweet potatoes, and I found that gave me some energy, but I still didn't have the energy I needed to work in production the way I wanted to. I'd have to take longer naps and breaks in between projects, and it wasn't the life I wanted. I was still living on Red Bull and Monster and all that until I started really addressing the thyroid. And the thyroid, I started taking porcine thyroid pills, liver pills, and I started realizing that was helping a lot. And fast forward to today, or to December of last year, and I got this this test that Alex had talked about on air, and because my new naturopath told me that it looks like your symptoms are more related to heavy metal toxicity than anything else at this point. You've been down that road, you've done the footwork, you know, you've taken care of all you can, and you know, I found these folks, and they're Christian folks, and I really believed what they said. So I went and did this quite costly lab test, which You know, it was kind of a burden at the time, but I'm glad I did it because I was high in the big six toxic metals.
And what were they?
Well, aluminum, antimony, cadmium, and cesium, amazingly enough, and lead was very extremely high.
And your cesium, you lived for the last couple of years in California, right? So
yeah, that's true.
That's another connection there.
Yeah, I lived on the coast of California, and since the Fukushima explosion out there, I've been exposed to whatever's coming through there. You know, in the second page of the report, it says environmental contamination by CS-137 as a result of radioactive fallout could be a concern. So I talked to my doctor, and he did tell me that, you know, you might have this from Fukushima or you might have this from anything, but I want to caution anybody that thinks that if they don't live in California, they don't have cesium, because there's radon and there's other things in the earth.
That's right. There's a lot, even if it's natural radiation, ionizing radiation is still radiation. I mean, it's very different from what you're going to get with electromagnetic radiation, but people are still concerned, like you said, about radon. We saw the beach there in California where it was up away from the water. It was very, very high, and then it dropped as they went down the water. So it wasn't necessarily from Fukushima in that particular spot, but it was still elevated levels, and people don't walk around with a Geiger counter knowing what they're being exposed to. So most people don't know what level of radiation they're being exposed to unless they do some kind of a test like this.
And maybe they should.
Yeah.
The doctor explained it to me like this. He said, imagine you're always going out with a credit card to the store, and you're buying and buying and buying. It's like you're putting these toxins in your body, and eventually your body can't take it anymore. You run out of your credit limit's up. But now imagine you're starting to get these things out, like using Fluoride Shield or any of the products at InfoWarsLife.com. I mean, it's like you're now paying with cash, and your body's not going to work on credit. You know, you really have to get the toxins out for the vitamins to work, because your body runs on enzymes, and if there's toxins there, the vitamins can't get to function properly and make the enzymatic reactions. So you need to have a compound approach to this. It needs to be the Fluoride Shield, the Survival Shield, and also the vitamins. And
it's kind of just the opposite of what we're usually talking about with iodine, where you want to try to fill your thyroid up with healthy iodine to prevent the radioactive cesium or strontium-90 or whatever to be absorbed by the thyroid. But the opposite is true as well. If you've got a lot of harmful chemicals that have filled up your organs, then you're not going to be able to get the good nutrition in. So that's why you need to find some way to purge it out.
A multi-pronged approach, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Glenn. Hopefully that'll be of some help to people out there. Well, as Glenn pointed out to me when we were talking earlier, he said it's a long-term onset of these diseases, and it was a long-term cure. But as he's pointed out, it's something that you can do. Take responsibility for your own life, for your own health. Educate yourself. Check out the products at InfoWarsLife.com. You'll find things there that can help you to purge toxins like Fluoride Shield, and also essential nutrients at InfoWarsHealth.com, where you'll find vitamins that are essential to good health. Well, that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
More than 60 movies and documentaries all in one place at Infowars.com/show.
Symbols are powerful, and the globalists have hijacked the symbols of America. They've turned them into their own symbols. Well, we are restoring the idea of the true republic, not the counterfeit globalist empire, by promoting the icon George Washington and others. That's why we're rolling out an 100% made in America line of incredible pro-liberty apparel. We are repopularizing liberty. We are helping fellow Americans rediscover what made this country great. We are the spirit of 1776. We are 1776 worldwide. We are all brothers and sisters in arms in the animating contest of liberty in the long march towards humanity's ultimate destiny of freedom. Visit madein1776.com today and vote with your dollars to promote truly made in America, high quality products, and promote the ideals of liberty.